Roll 'em, sweet Mary Jane. Nothing ever remains the same. It's really and truthfully always the same game. So why does it always change? 3.1415926535, 3.14. Because in all the systems, as you turn the auger of life, the auger turns, and it churns, and it turns, and it churns. And as it churns, it goes forward. But wait, let's put two. One churning here and one churning here. The thing we have to understand when it's churning is this end has no end. There's only one end. It goes in, the grain falls down, the auger turns, the grain goes forward, 3.149265. It's a rotation. In fact, 3.146592, the 1.314, you know what, let me just do it another ways. Listen to the way pi began in my life. When pi began in my life, the first initial exit sign I ever saw was going to my grandparents' house. It was in Saint-Jean-Vier, and the exit was 31, 3.1. I just got off at the exit in Laval. Laval? Ava? Laval exit was exit 14. So I got off at exit 31. I got on an exit 14, 3.14. The one and ones come together. They overlap each other. Look, I want to show you something. These sticks are exactly the same. If I put this one on the top row and I put this one on the bottom row, this one is 40-degree angle 3, and this is 60-degree angle 3. It's just the same passage, a different level. Once you get to 60, 61 is ABC, ABC, ABC. It's the beginning, it's the middle, at the end. In between is the 45s broken in half by 22.5. In fact, the umbrella of Jack is at 22.5. And I'm going to explain to you the umbrella, and I don't know if I'm going to remember anything else I've been saying, but the umbrella goes like this, okay? When you divide your 360 degrees, which actually is not even 360 degrees, it starts at nothing. There's nothing here. There's nothing here. It starts right here at nothing. But what you do is you run off your 45 degrees. Okay? These are the principal carriers. Okay? This is the heart. It begins. Everything on this heart is how it works. We box in our circles and our squares and our diamonds, whatever it is. It's very simple. You take here and here and here. When you use the square paper, the minute you use this line up between this side and this side, you automatically must continue these lines until everything becomes identical and you understand the sides. I will show you how I understand the side. Okay, first of all, you have to do the minimum. Okay, here is your minimum, but you need one above and you need one below. You always need one further above. Okay, this one over here is the cutoff line. Okay, because this one is before you begin and then you begin. So that's why you need 3 and 1 row, 3 and 1 row, because at some point either they're overlapping or there's a secondary row, because if we were in a ship, right? If we were in a ship, it would be different levels. And as you can get to the third level, the first level is right on the ground. The next level, okay, is 3 feet high. The next level is 6 feet high. So every time you go a different height, everything stays the same. You just move over. So this is what we have to do. So in order to, we're going to finish with this in a second. We're going to understand how to box in 0. We have to learn what the value of the center of the time clock is. This is how we're going to get it in. Here is the box right here. See the box? This whole box here, this whole box here. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Now we have to go outside the box. we only have a half a box. Okay, we need to make one more box. We cannot have a half a box. We need full boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The reason why this is a box, because this part over here is half in and half out, if my diamonds are all correct. Okay, so we line these all the way up to here. Now we have to go, the minimum and the maximum is over here. Okay, and don't forget it stops here. There is no this. This does continue, but it will continue here, and then it'll continue here, and then it'll continue here, and then once you get to here, okay, you come like this. Okay, we did this, and then all of a sudden you come to here and you go like this. The reason it ends up like this, because this one here is the last one, the next one, the next one, the next one, and what happens, okay, in all of this is that, hold on, let me do it better. What happens in all of this, here's your next tic-tac-toe, is that this box here, which is the number 9 position, starts on the next level and starts at 10. 1 and 0, 10, 9 minus 10 is 1. 1 should automatically go here, but 10 goes here. Can you see it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They overlap. Now the question is, they overlap from above or from below or the same thing? Because what you're seeing, all you're seeing is like, anyways, what you're seeing over here, the cross. 3 men on the cross. Okay, what you're seeing over here is 9, 10 is 9, but at the same time it's 10 because you stop at 9 and you start at 10 in the same position. Because here I am stopping, 6. Here I am going, 7, but I haven't left yet. I stop and go from the same area, 6 and 7. Stop and go, stop and go. Pass in between, 1, 2, 3. I pass from here to 3. Pass in between. This is one area, okay, and then the corners are another area. We have a broken up system. There's 4 in a row. There's nothing more than 4, only an understanding of the difference. Every element has a distance. There's a distance. There's a distance. I'm going to show you on the clock after how we gain this distance. Because don't forget, the first 360 degrees is 360 degrees of itself. Anything bigger than itself is more than 360 degrees. 360 degrees is a roll of the ball. What size was the ball? Well, the size of the ball of all, before I fall and forget, is this size right here. By doing this operation, you will completely understand the 360 degrees formation and how the numbers go in the system. What I was showing you over here, okay, is now at a new level. How do I know to stop here? Because I went through some musical notes and I saw that everybody was stopping here. So I'm stopping here like everybody else. And then from there, I'm going to take a look and my stop and my go will be 1 and 2. Or actually, X marks the spot. X marks the spot. The dog goes. He poops in that spot because X marked the spot. What is the X? Is X your nose? What does it mean the X marks the spot? Because it's his poop. That once he lays his poop there, he becomes that 120 degrees. That's what the dog poop is. 120 degrees has to be that, something like that. The 120 degree dog poop. In the center of the poop is the 120 degrees. You needed the rest of the percentages because it's a dog. 120 degrees means I am a living being. 3 numbers, a 1, a 2, and a 0. Each one represents something else. Because you have the 1 inside the 1 is here. Here's your 1 ball. That's 360 degrees. Anything bigger than that, my friend, is bigger than anything else. In fact, the Mayan calendar talks about 20 days, okay, 20-day periods. So that 20-day period automatically has to be times 6. 6 times 20 is 120 degrees. Created in this world. Who was created in this world? Well, it was ABC of God, 1, 2, 3, and 9 of man's birth is 12. He goes down to 6 for 18. He has to have the spirit link. 2 valves to come in. Spirit link. This finger, okay, I know as of today, because the first thing I did is I went to fix some oil. And when I went to fix the oil and I opened up the door, okay, I caught my finger between the door and the contraption that they made this machine with. In fact, it says 7286 on it, missing one of the numbers. But I don't need the other number. I don't need 4 numbers. And if I do have 4 numbers, if it's 3 and 3, I know once you have 3, you have A and B, because the L letter, okay, Ebola, okay, is the number 3. Okay, I don't know if they put the number 3 and added 30 onto us and broke down our 4 periods, because listen, 0, 1, 2, 3 equals 4. If you take the 4 cube, this is not a 4. This is a 0. The 4 is a jack, because when you hook up the jack to this 4, you hook up one jack, hooks to the other side. What's on the other side of the 4? 5. What's on the other side? 6. It's 4, 5, and 6, 5. It's ED and FCB. When you take the L letter, it's AB in a package. They brought A and B in a package inside and broke it up 120 degrees. The Ebola, okay, the word Ebola, okay, which is now number 5, which is the expression of one hand. Now, if it was 3, it's pointing this way. If it was 5, it's pointing this way, because you have to understand that inside and of 3 is right inside the 2 strands of 5 coming out of the 2 hole. So they take this Ebola, okay, which comes into here, and don't forget, all you need is 512 memory, and the reason you have that, and the reason you have that is because the L letter is the 12th letter in the alphabet. It's a lab cat. Forget the cat. This splits apart in 1 and 3. 1 and 3 is A and C. This is a cat, my friends, because B and T, they're in the same family. And once you have 3 in 2 houses, you have 99. Automatic. You have 2 areas automatic. Don't tell me 9 and 9. You're just telling me about my spirit and my soul all in one. Where is this coming from? 9 is delivering to 9. 9 is receiving. But add 3 more. Put me in the dog circle over here at 120 degrees each. Spread my wings in the air for freedom, for cancer. They have divided our 4-way system into a 3-way system. 4 and 3 is 7. They crisscrossed the AC with the DC. My cat was in my bed last night, crawling against the blankets. And what did I see? Blue light coming off of her fur. And I'm telling you one thing. I'm telling you 2 things. And I'm going to tell you 3 things. I'm going to tell you my experience. My experience is what I saw. I don't have a picture to show you. But you know what? If I went back 2,000 years, I wouldn't have a picture of Jesus anyways. And Jesus didn't write. He built a story. He went and he got wood. And he took this wood and he put this wood and he put the wood together. He says, look at that, man. He says, I got a teeter-totter for the balance. What do you want to call it? I don't know. But we'll have to take out, we'll whittle it here and we'll whittle it here and we'll put it together. We'll make it a crisscross of some sort. You'll be able to climb up higher on the roof. Anybody got any of those pictures from the early 200s? Who has pictures? Paintings. I want to know what was painted. I want to know what was painted, okay, in the year 56 AD or BC. 56 BC. I need to see a picture from 56 BC because that is the number of time. Time and the calling the wolf is that because Jesus Christ, for me in my book, was born on his birthday. But irrelevant to that date, in Numbers, he was born 47 times 47, 2209, and the number of Jesus, 74 in basic, 3 times basic, 74 is 222, because it ignites in 3 of the 4 worlds, 2, 2, and 2, and it is 2 of itself. It is Venus. She ignites 4. She ignites 6, and she ignites 10. It becomes 4 becomes 6, 6 becomes 8, and 8 becomes 10 blue. So then we get the striped balls out of blue, and we have a 10 blue. And Guy Lafleur, he was the flower. And number 2 and 10, 2 and 10, 5 and 5, 1 and 1 on the dice, 66. A really good payout, 30 to 1 in creation in the game of craps, 7-11, which is like 7 and 2. It's Venus inside the moon is the way I see it. 1 and 1, A and A. They put Venus inside the moon. That means that moon of Luna that was made for us on this planet had to be bypassed. So if they bypassed one moon, they needed an extra moon to help with the phobia bypass, and then they held the dice cube for the Demos bypass. So they have now 2, 3 moons. Here's the strand that comes on, A, E, and I. Okay, or you can say 9, 5, and 1 low shoe. This is the diamond world where everything is split. I'm not really sure which way I'm going with this yet. Okay, Jesus didn't write a book. 12 men wrote the books. But if you really look closely, Judas Irenicus was at the end of the table, right at the head of the table. Jesus was confronting no one. He was facing nobody. They were all by his side. There was nobody there. And the whole room was tic-tac-toe. H and I all over the room. And the 3 windows? That was incredible. See the brick on top joining the 2 sides? No one was there. Hey, Mrs. Robinson. Who was the other lady? She went down. Nobody came to her burial. Ours, Simon and Garfunkel, I think it was. The answer was so simple. Look at the feet under the table. You'll see the rotation of the feet. That whole room is coded. Not because they made the codes, because creation was made, that if you look close enough, it's where it was. If you don't know the question, you won't have a question to answer. So as we go down in this seminar here, we go always 1 over and 1 over to match. And then we go 1, 2, 3. And then we go down, da, 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 and up. And we also do that for the 3-letter words. But this also comes from a design. This is not just chosen from music. This is chosen from a reality game of what has to happen at a minimum. Okay? This is what has to happen at a minimum. We're going to... Okay, you mark an X here. Okay? I mark an O here. Okay? You mark an X here. I mark an O here. Game 1. How many were there? 4. What's in a square? 4 corners. 4 times 90, 360, because nothing is over 120. Ebola is inside this freaking design. I'm going to show you the Ebola on the clock here and the frequency that activates the Ebola, more than not really a disease at all, but some kind of activation. Some kind of activation. Because this is 3, okay? 3, AB, ABLAB, laboratory. It's in a circle. OR. R is because it's 666 in 3 worlds. L is 12. It is for the left world. The left world where? In alpha, beta, 3 creation. LAB. It's a laboratory. These things are noted on Monopoly. You can see on Monopoly where the Baltic and New Zealand lie. The Mediterranean, the Baltic, and New Zealand. Well, the Baltic, okay, is you can choose anything you want. But remember, okay, when Pegasus walked in the first time, she was white. When Pegasus came the first time. When Pegasus left, she had a hard time getting those stains off. She was a freaking zebra from New Zealand. Yeah, Pegasus, a zebra from New Zealand. I'm telling you. It's in my story. Where's my story? It's in my head. I make it up as I go. So you have a minimum of 4 from your square. 4 corners and 4 corners. So 4 corners, 4 rows. The secondary, okay, is in tic-tac-toe. With minimum in tic-tac-toe, the minimum in tic-tac-toe, okay, is 5. Okay, but that's if the home team wins. If the road team wins, okay, it will be 6. It'll be not 7, but it'll be 8. But not 9. Tic-tac-toe. You, me, you, me, you, me, you, me, you. You got 1, you got 3, you got 7, 9, and 5. I got 2, 4, 6, 8. It's all a relative game, like Einstein. Now what we're going to do is continue this. One square box, okay, that we designed over here, going up straight, goes right through the box. It takes 1, 2 to get down, 1, 2 to get up, okay? But in doing so, okay, I cut every single box in its individuality in half. And then I cut it in half again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, excuse me, 1, 2, and 2 larger size, okay? So this would be 1, and this would be counted as 2. 2 and 2, 2 and 2, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Anyways, do you see this, the square here? Because I'm looking at it. Well, there's also a square right over here. And there's also a square over here. And there's also a square over here. There's 4 squares. This totality is what this owns. This is the space, okay, for the life and the spirit. This is the space, okay? However you want to work it. This, okay, this is the 9 birth of the one spirit, okay? See the angle of this? This used to be a 90-degree angle. It's no longer a 90-degree angle. This is now a 45, 135-degree angle. In my reality, okay, when Jesus was put on the cross, this is the problem with the cross. It was all crossed in the wrong direction. So our energies are not being pulled properly. So right away, when I connect another cross to here and a cross to here, Jesus was hung with 2 others on the cross. He's holding one hand above here, one hand above here. He was an I and an E. You see the E? I don't have this down here. This line doesn't exist. You see the I? You see the X? He's with 2 men on the cross. They both lost their heads, right? 2 men on the cross, Jesus holding on to them. They both lost their heads. Because he took one world. He took one world of 1, 4, and 7. And he took that world and he transferred it onto the world of creation, where they put the L as the A, B, C together. So if I tell you A is everything and it's broken apart, because A is like the nail and A is like the back of a hammer. This is the back of the hammer. This is the nail with the head. This is what happened when they planted the nails in Jesus. He took the hammer and he pulled out the nail. Implanté. French and English. Keep playing with the words. Everything will change. He was hung with, who were the 2 men he was hung with? Because I can show you a whole different story, because this is over the rainbow for me. Remember that 120 degrees. This is equal to 51. The 0, I forgot to say that. This is equal to 51. So that L that creates the 120 degrees, 12 times 10, LJ, 10 equals 7. 12 is a whole number. It cannot be split apart. 12, okay? 12, if you want to break it apart, is equal to 74. 2 is equal to 58, equals 4. 1 equals to 34, equals to 7. Right away it says Christ in the 12th tribe. Right over here, repeated, okay? So O that you see over here is O, 120 degrees is L, A, B, O. But inside O is this. When did you have O, you have the whole family. You have O. You have 1 and 5, 15 equals O, because the O is 1 and 5. Then you have 2 and 4. Then you have 3 in the other world, 3. 6, 6, 6, 6. 2 worlds, connect the E and E together, Ebola. They connected a different world together. They connected something together. What did they do? What's in the air? I have to make another video. This one won't get uploaded. There's something in there. The word. No, excuse me. I'm wrong. Wrong choice of words. Ebola in numbers shows me that this has been genetically created, but I'm genetically modified, not created. Sorry, it has to be modified. Because anything on earth that has to exist naturally had to go through the process of ashes to ashes and dust to dust. What happens to ashes and dust? When you can reflect and understand what happens to the ashes and dust, then you can understand a little bit further. And I put on this shirt purposely for this video. Because in fact, I don't want to take off the shirt for any of my videos. I'll wash it at night. I don't care. I think this should be the shirt that I wear for the rest of Mr. Tack Pens. In fact, I'm going to probably make 10 of these shirts. And if it wasn't for George, I wouldn't have realized how much I really like this shirt. So I'm going to take care of this shirt. So now we have the center here. The reality of the center, because the telephone is number 5 in every single way, and halfway between one and every other number that's next to it is 0.5, I declare that the value of the center of one square is 5. 5 in every single way. 5 times 5 times 5 times 5, and 5 times 5 times 5 times 5, and then take that average. So let me get what it is. 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 equals 625. And then I have to do it, I did it 4 times, okay? This time I'm going to do it 3 times, then 2 times, and then I'm going to just have 5. Because I have to calculate the star. What is the major star? I need to know what the major star, and the major star is actually, again, L looks like the number 1, but the major star is always to remember, okay, is to know what they say is the North Star, okay? Take that North Star, go from the bottom of the earth, okay, and run all the way on the outside of the earth, and then go the other way, something like the moon does. Then you're going to know the diameters and the size of the clock. Because your 360 degrees is the ball of Earth. It's not 360 degrees. It's a ball of Earth. It's 1 to 5 all the way around, meaning, okay, this is the 1 to 5. I put my finger in here, and this is the way it is. Here's my 5. Look, that's it. I did it. As long as I do this all the way around. Now, how many turns is it around? 360. 360 times 5 equals to 1,800. 1,800 is what it takes to find from 1 and 5 the size of the earth. 1,800. We have to do this by 2. 360 again times 5 equals to 1,800, 3,600. Now what we have to understand that there's 18 Mayan months in a year. 6 and 6 and 6 and 6 and 6. Let's not even count the 1. The 1 is in the thousands, okay? The thousands is one thing. The hundreds is another thing. Every time you get a new number, it's something else. And all 1 says, it means it is the circle of the spirit of life, which is number 8, because 8 cannot go alone without 1 as his son, the jack. The jack or the whip, twirling around that whip, that DNA inside of us, 3,600. So this is your 10. 10 equals 7. 7 into 3,600. 500 is 3,500. 500 with 100 left over. 10 times 10 is 100. How did we do that? 5 and 5 is 10. All 10s equal 1 plus 6, or 16. Give me the light. So 3,600 divided by 16 equals to 225. That's perfect. Let me do it again. 3,600 divided by 15. 3,600 divided by 15 equals, no. What was that thing? Do I have to look back? 30, hold on a second. 3,600, 3,600. Anyways, okay, I'll look back at the video. Okay, 26 mark at the 20, 30 minutes. Look. Okay, so what we're going to do over here is now, right, it takes 4 of these because there's 1,440 minutes in a day. It takes 4 of four of these to equal 1,440. Takes 4 of that, okay, equal 4 times 360 is 1,440, 144. Okay, 1,440, the 0 equals to the 6, because the 6 is the first circle. 5 and 1, 5 and 1, 5 and 1, whichever way you want to do it. We'll keep the pinky in there. We'll run this one, 5 and 1, okay, 5 and 1. So what is your 0? Are you talking about the 5? Are you talking about the 1? Are you talking about the whole total 0? 6, there's 6, this is 6. Now, what do you want to talk about? You want to talk about number 3 over here? Number 1 is running the dial. Where are your fingers in this now? What are your fingers doing? Look what's next to it. You're running with these 2 fingers, these 3. These 3 are on the outside. This finger is 1, and this side is 2. 1 and 2 are playing from outside the game. And I can change any finger I want, but the reality is, what goes where? There's only 1 that goes here. You see 2? See 2? 2 gets 1. If 2 got 2, okay, then this would be 2 spaces. So the reality of the space of the clock that we were talking about gets 4 times this equaling to this, okay? This will make the time of the day. But, okay, but it takes 2 of these, okay? It takes 2 of these to create a Mayan month. So you multiply it by 2 is 288. Then you add 1 more 72 degrees because the point of the ladder, okay, of 5, it's 4 and 1. So let's count the last one separately, the arm of the clock or the turn, the way the clock turns. So the clock turns 72. Add on 72. So 72 plus 2 times 144, 1,440 minutes equals to 2880. Okay, plus 72 equals to 360 degrees. We came all around in time through these numbers. Mayan days, okay, there's 240 hours and 240 hours. 240 hours in here, okay, and 240 hours in here is 480. 480 times 3, 480 times 3, $1,440. When I start moving the 2 clocks together, they both match 1440, different multiplications. Now, if I add the next one on here, because 480 hours are 20 of our days, which is 10 days and 10 days of the Mayan month, of 6 days, 1 day and 3 days, 6 days, 1 day and 3 days, of a day that was split. Again, this is the design that they added in, splitting the world into 3. This can't be done from this side. This cannot be done from this side. This has to be done from the other side. But inside the world, they show us our change. The change, this one and this one. We don't need the penny anymore. We never even needed the 5 cents. All we needed was a 5 cents. We didn't need any other coins. We didn't need a 25 cents. That's 2 numbers. 10 cents, that's 2 numbers. We had the penny, it was 1 cent. That was 1 number. The 5 cent, that was 1 number. But the 10 cent became 2 numbers. And then it possessed a 7th gate, and the only way to connect 10 is 5 and 5. Because if you had 10 pennies, you'd have a million. A million, you'd be full in birth again. 120. If you add up 1 to 15, which is the side of the egg, equals to 120. 4 times 120 is 480. 4 times 360 is 1440. 2.5 times, 2 times and a half, 2.5 times this is 360 degrees again. 2880, 360 degrees. 360 degrees, 360 divided by 480 equals 7.5. Okay, how do I explain that? The only dice that is real, I'm going to show you how the dice are real. This is 6, but it's not alone. Something's coming home. There's a dice over here. You see the one in the center of the white? Well, look at that. All numbers in the center of the white. When one ignites, it ignites this whole thing for everyone. White ignites the light, the Holy Ghost. At the end of your fingertips that do everything for you, the Holy Ghost. The way eyes can see just behind you, the truth of the Holy Ghost. When you bend down and go to the bathroom and a colored fella or dark-skinned fella, he holds up his hand and you see the Holy Ghost. To understand the numbers and the art design in your own perception and understanding, with a little understanding and guidance from you to me to you, and us to each other. Working to, it's not that it doesn't work. If you don't understand it, leave it alone, run away, but never say it's not good for anything, because it's only not good for you. So we end up over here, 7.5. Now, what is 7.5? It's pretty simple. 7.5, okay, times, don't forget, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 300, bowling. All X's, 12 X's in bowling, 300. Why did they string 3 together at the end of bowling? Because of Ebola. Ebola strung them all together. Those last 3, I shouldn't have those last 3. We're not big people, we're small people. 7.5 times, creation is what, 48? Times 48, the space, right, equals 360 degrees. Do you know what 7.5 is? 7 times 6. 7.5, hold on. 7.5 times 6. 45. 45, do it once, but no. 7.5 is only half a circle. So we need to go, okay, instead of 6, we have to go instead of this, 7.5, okay, we need to do 15. 15 times 6 equals 90. Now we brought the angle back to 90. Do you follow me? 7.5 degrees, the day of George. Why? Because O is the circle. R takes half that circle. It spreads it with a V. A V is a separation. It's a right angle. It's taking the book, okay, and doing this, from this, from this. The book is like this. The book is like this. This is one side. They make 2 more angles and flip it upside down. What's the difference to you? You don't know how the earth was built anyways. You don't know if you're right side up or upside down. Are you mad that every time you go into the mirror, it looks at you the other way? Are you upset? Are you upset that when you look into a camera and it's flipped upside down, and when they ask you what's wrong with your eye, they don't know? Aren't you freaking out? This whole earth, nobody really knows the answer. They about know. They can do it. I mean, I can do an operation. I can cut. I can scissor. That's not hard. I can study. Either I can hack it or I can't. I couldn't hack it, so I didn't do it. You know? Secondly, I was learning it from somebody else. So what was the size of the core over here? Again, 7.5. It has to be its own 45 degrees, just like everything else. But it's that amount. It's got to be 45 degrees times 8. It's 360 degrees. How many times? Times 8. So now we go 360 times 8 equals 2888. 72 degrees of the clock automatically. Divide this by 4, okay? Divide this by 4 or multiply it by 1.25. 5 times 5 times 5. Again, 125. If you multiply it by 5, it's 625. There is no D, there is no C. 1 and 3 is the only way to do that. We came into the world with 1 and 2 to create 3. They brought 3 into the world, and 3 comes with D automatically. It comes with D because that's the doghouse right here that controls everything. This is the doghouse. X marks the spot. Why? Y plays in left field. I don't know who's at third base, and I don't care. Right? Is that what they say about tomorrow? Jesus on the cross? It's only parables. They sold us. What did they write? I want to know if they wrote 10 books, 12 books, or 500 books. How many people wrote back then? How many people can read and know anybody wrote until hundreds of years later? You want me to plant a seed? When my grandfather passed away, he left a little apple tree. He says, one day this will be a big apple tree. Don't you worry. And for God, he's right. 26 years later, after his death, Johnny Appleseed is still pushing from the ground. A little bit out of control, of course. Apple trees go out of control. Out of control. The apple is a test item. Why do you think it has so many of these diseases? It's beaten all the tests it's got into. Apples, apples, apples. You want apple songs? We'll bring you out an apple song. You want any kind of song and any kind of rhyme? Well, it's only going to tell you all about time. Because everything that was made, I'm sitting on top of the pallets today, and I'm working, and between the boards, fell something. I saw a bird at the bottom. Pick it up. Put a little spirit into the bird. It'll pick it up and fly back up and give it to you. What do you think? It was man who built things? It was monkey. Monkey, they got the spirit from God and they did that shit. But because you look human, you're the only one. We're the only ones. We're the best. Because we're humans? Yeah, we're the best human race. But we're not monkeys. Monkeys are monkeys. They're not humans. All you got to give them is a little advice. Give a monkey a little advice. He takes it forever. Every animal, if they can learn. Everybody knows. Are they any different? Because of the life they choose, they go and poop right in the forest and it doesn't make a difference? Don't you know that what goes into your body, it's a system? You have a snake. And if you become the two-faced snake within inside your body, you're going to rot. And you're going to stink. And they're going to say to you, you're rotten in hell. Yeah, it's the way you act. This is the path I'm taking because this is the path I believe. But regardless, it's still the story. So whatever you say, change it. Tell me your way, and I'm on it. Monkeys were hanging from the sky. The other thing I was looking at, things that go on angles. You want to see something? Check this out. If I hold it here, and I tilt it, oh my God! They evenly went 45, 135. If I go this way, it's 45, 135. This is the N. This is the Z. Now the thing is, why did it stop? I hit the floor. I hit the ceiling. What does it look like? Okay, it's a Z. Bring in the zebra. Hit the floor. Hit the ceiling. Once it hits the floor and ceiling, automatic. Now the I is a little different. Aye, Captain. We've showed you that trick before, right? Let's show you that trick before. Okay? Here's Jesus. He's sitting on the cross having a good time there, eating a snack and eating his curds away, right? He went right up there. He says, let me die. I'll come back, right? I'll show the rest of the world, right? Show the rest of the world. What a coward I am. I'll just die for you. Like, but half the people didn't know him. How many people really knew and believed him? I mean, really, truthfully. How many people were around at that time? Oh, my God, this guy is doing weird shit. But you know what? Do a little LSD and I'll do weird shit. And don't forget, the magic of this world is unknown for those who don't believe. But it is known for those who believe, regardless of the magic. I believe it. Because it's a potion of life. It's what you could see and what you can't see. The hand is slater than the eye. Well, I got two slants in my eyes. Watch out what happens. So what happens is, we get Jesus on the cross here, right? And we come around and we sort of have one guy on the cross here. And then we have another guy, the cross here. Okay? Now, there's two guys. One was a thief. T-H-E-I-F. I-F. 9-6. This is the auger. This is a rotation. Why is this a rotation? I'm going to explain it to you. The more often and angles you can see with this and this, the more often you will know they exist in all the worlds. One of them is this. The smoke. Okay? Now, if we do the smoke the other way, it becomes... So this smoke is going up, and this smoke is going down. At the same time, if we run it all the way down, right, now we're making 2s. Down it looks like 2s, up it's all 9s. Down it's all 6s. Backwards 2s, 2 sides, because 2 is over here. That's where 2 is. 2 doesn't come into this world. The world where we are is right here. And the way to finish that world, okay, is to understand it a little different, okay? We're going to put 2 little Jesuses on the outside, right? And we're going to put there the little Jesus on the outside. And now what we're going to do is we're going to put a great big Jesus over here. Well, that didn't work out. How was I supposed to, hold on a second. There was this thing over here, right? And this thing over here. And then this block. Okay. Now what this block does, okay, don't forget it's an inverse world. Here was Jesus, okay. Now we put it upside down, okay, and put Jesus as the big one, hold it to the small one. Why? Because it's 4 and 3, or it's 3 and 4. You can't, it's so many levels. So we have to inverse the levels so that everything fits in the same house, okay. We still have, look, 1 head, 2 head, 3 heads, all the legs connected together, all the legs connected together. This connection makes 1. This connection makes 1. This connection makes 1. Okay? Hold on a second. Hold on. You see that on the floor over there, that design? You see the 2 reds on the outside in the center with the band? Right there. Those 2 reds and the yellow. That yellow is the soul of Christ, okay? Or the blood of Christ. And I know, this finger is the 3rd finger. I ripped it today, it bled. After that, I stuck this finger in oil. Bled, stuck this finger in oil. The wheel of life, 2 and 3. Two tragedies to me today. This is the wreath between the 2, okay? The man, the thief, and Jesus is sitting between the 2, and here's the sword. The picture cards will demean. This will end up to be part of the sword. You remember the sword? The samurai sword? You remember the samurai sword? Okay, the sword. And then over here is your 11. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. This is what it is. And I can give you all numbers for this. They are all numbered, and they are right there on the floor. Okay? Right there on the floor. It must become multi-level. That must become multi-level, and there's 2 sides to it. I have to figure out which way they go. I'm assuming it's going to be 1, 1, 9, 9. That's it. We all know like this. On the dice, how many are here? 6. But if I turn it this way, it's also 6. East-west, missing north-south. North-south, missing east-west. So this does not come with this. H and I are separate from each other. Unless you keep it on this angle, this would become the N6. This will become the N6. This will become the Z6. N6, Z6. And 6 can be changed because it's 6 and 1. 6 and 1 is the only 7 on the dice. Everyone is 5. It's 7 and 5 all around. 7.5 degrees times 48, 480 hours, 20 days, 480 Mayan hours, 48 times 7.5, 360 degrees. We measured the whole globe, and it's all about what the Mayan said. What were we looking for? We should have started with the radar and the coordinates to begin with. The number 5, the number 2, letters in the alphabet. Everything gets broken down. It's all about the line. It's above, below, and have to step into the game. Don't forget, once you step into the game, you can bring 100 yards of energy and then plug it in the other end, it works. But remember, that's not true. If you bring, after a certain period of certain energies in certain situations, the energy will deplete. If you plug a 110 into a high wire post, you won't feel it because it has to go through the whole post before it becomes nothing or blows itself up. Do you understand? Blows itself up, the 110 stories in the Twin Towers. Raphael 7286 in a constellation of Pegasus. This And that also goes to baseball. This goes up and down and up and down and up and down. And it does levels also. It goes up like this. It can go out a level and up and out a level and up. Don't forget, 5 by 5 by 5 by 5. And all you got to do is put the one person who's counting. He's counting 5 by 5 because he put his 5 up and he counted 5. Whatever it was, we were made to be, and all the answers are in the reality of the art. Okay, which I'm beginning to learn right now. And if you push the button, and there's only one button, why do we need 2 buttons? Button 1 and button 3. Starting over. But guess what? 1, 2, 3. This thing around it, my friends, sold me today. I was driving down the street in a car, and I looked outside the window, and a lady was on her cell phone with her 2 kids in the back. And I looked at the car, and it was a gray Mercedes. What holds the radiator in and the fan to turn is the 3-liter, 3.4 circle that goes around the Mercedes logo. Is a second button to start in the B world. Why? 1 leg to come in and B's to start. A, B, BC, 2 and 3, BCO, this is BCO, this is AEO, BCO, AEO, but she can't have C, she can't really be C, because she's an I, she's 3 by 3 C, because she has to go into the 3 worlds of this one, 3, 3, 3, and go into this world, okay, 3, 3, and go into this world of 3, okay, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, and 3, 3. 3, 3, and she has to be 3, 3, 3 to add on 1. 9 and 6. 3 times 3, 2 times 3. 6 and 9 is 15. That's the other way to come into 15 by doing that combination. Did you follow it? This is why I go up 1 and out 2 when I do my arts, and I do the same thing when I take the knight in shining armor. He moves 2 and 1. The L is the same thing. It creates the Ebola out of this sign right here. The continuation of the art of this sign will give me an answer to the numbers in the word Ebola. In the word Ebola, I'm only talking about the word. I don't want to do anything with it until I'm asked any further. But I saw it before and I see it again, and there's a lot more to calculate, because I want to ask you a question, and I'm going to ask you this question again and again. I want to know what you saw 2,000 years ago. Anybody want to come up 2,000 years ago, going once, going twice, sold out? I brought in millions of people into my mind. I thought, and I thought, and I thought, and I thought, and I says, who's alive that was here 2,000 years ago? And I looked, 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 and I said, oh shit, no one. I said, who was alive 500 years ago that had a camera? And I looked, and I looked, and I looked, and I looked, and they weren't playing the right song. So then I decided, what about the instruments? At what point, what instruments, what music did he listen to? Because if I knew what music he was listening to, I know the music will start to separate the reality. What music did Christ listen to? And what was the music of 56 AD? 56 AD, and there's other numbers like that. In any year of 56, that's the year to look. 56 and I'm not sure which the next one is. 56 and maybe in the late 70s, beginning in the 80s again. But every one of 56, because numerologically, 56 and 44 is 100. Minus 44 from 56 is 12, and those are the 12 strands. So we're missing nothing. So the 10% extra that we have in our mind is the wind of the Spirit blowing on in and the dragon lighting us up. AC, DC, my friends, I think it's our DC power that is causing a magnetism in us. And how do you get rid of that magnetism? Something to do with copper. 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 Keep that air breathing. Now, I don't even know what I'm talking about, but in my mind, I see the letters and what they speak. C-O-P-P-E-R, pepper and copper. Now, I start to rhyme and see what goes with it, and I'll understand how everybody thought of this previous to me to get a basis in judgment without seeing anybody else, just knowing the words that were spoken without seeing a face. I don't have to make prejudgment on anything, and I don't do that anyways, but it just happens. I so happen to follow into a book, okay, and this is a crazy book linking Manitoba, New York, Toronto, okay, and a bunch of young honorable right men in here. It's linking the actual laboratories in Manitoba, okay. Arizona, according to my map, this is all wrong. Arizona was not supposed to be where it is. Where I am right now, Quebec's not supposed to be as this cold. Everything was shifted. For me, Russia owns the complete north, the totality of it. Canada, the lower north. Russia, the complete north. Everything, everything, everything. According to everything I found today, that's the way I look at it. It's just a book. Reading you a story. Manitoba, Quebec should be lowered down into the region, and the Great Lakes. Well, what do you think they do at the Great Lakes? Oh, let me look. Great Lakes. Let me read. In the Great Lakes, they mix a bunch of batches together and they dunkle it into the lake. They let all the fish swim in the lake with all these bacteria, spreading them all over. But don't worry, by the time you eat the fish, they'll all be gone. But all the poop will be in the lake. And it grows. You don't have to worry. Fish poop grows gravy. It'll be in a gravy train. Hey, we're in the 56th minute. So right at the beginning, it says the native Indian, the preface. The demands of extensive business connections have made it necessary that I should frequently visit the leading cities in America, Europe, and their own land. It has been my custom to observe closely in moments of leisure the character and the history of people in these different centers in order to learn what might be distinctive about them. Opportunity has been found now and then to make excursions from the beaten path of commerce into parts that were once natural or historic interest. All of these I find more or less distinct mental image that rises as I hear the name of the city or a bit of a country name. In the following pages, an effort has been made to transfer these impressions to the printed page and to share with the others. If what has been written may bring back scenes that have all but forgotten to some of those who read them. Anyways, it says in Fifeshire, a visit to Perth, the city of Glasgow, the Scottish Highlands, the days in Edinburgh, the city of Toronto, the delights of Muskoka, Niagara, Ottawa's capital, Montreal, Liverpool, London, Geneva, France, American metropolis. American metropolis. Here's a clue for me. Metropolis. It was Minneapolis, and it was Mary, and it was Bob and Lou Grant in Minneapolis, in Minnesota, which is right near Manitoba, which is included in this book. Okay? Minneapolis is taken from the Greeks and Romans. That is a name from the Greeks and Romans, duplicating the reality of what was in the past. They brought back to the future, so everything would be lost. But it's not true. You don't go to your home metropolis and create that name when you're trying to distinct yourself from everybody else. I don't want to be like anybody else. I won't call my house a metropolis. But they did. Because they used it from somebody else's name because they need it in the future. For the faint requirement that everybody will think because it's Greek, it must be a good thing. No, they used it because it was a good thing. And they turned it into whatever else they desired. And then the word just became a word. Metropolis. It's a big city. Nothing more than that. Bullcrap. Chicago, Boston, Philadelphia, America's capital cities, New York, the city of Halifax, New Brunswick, Titanic, the city of Montreal, I read, the Right Honorable Lord Salisbury's steak. J. Chamberlain means the chamber in the land, B-E-R. Okay, Chamberlain is not Chamberlain. C-H, okay, and they made C-H, but they put a real big C. See the way they put the C? Hold on a second, let me look. Does my finger show it? Chamberlain. Creation heaven. AM 113. Because, you see, when God created, he created 113. From 1 to 13. They called it 13. Why? Because he's the 1. And it was 1.1 to 3. But man is 1. Of 2 is 3. So he has to start at 3.1. ADN is 1,4. ADN, which comes with the circle, is 3.1415. It's the creation of the circle of life. 3.1415. 9, 2 is, like I said, the way we go up and down. 2 and 9, because he created the second world. 2 and 9. 2 and 9 together. 2 looks like 9 backwards facing each other. 6, 5. You have to have 6 because after 4 and 5 in the first world, well, you're finished. After 5 is 4. Because nothing's higher than 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 is the circle. 2 and 4 is the readers. 3 is the turnstile. But we're not using these turnstiles in all the worlds. Why? Because if I use this turnstile in this world, right, the record on the left and to the right will have a 45 in the center, connecting the two worlds to one Tweety bird. And if you don't think Fred Flintstone and all those things are real, they're all real. They're real for me. Lord Rosebery, the Rosebush, the Edenberries, the Gladstones, Aberdeen, Lord Minto, and the Agenda. And this book was My Travels, Visits to Lands Far and Near. This is why Mr. Tackpans is here. You see that fleur-de-lis? You see that lady who wears a small crown? It's all about understanding the reality. And the reality starts with a pen and a pencil. To recreate the past, use coordinates, mathematicals, and colors, which one day somebody in the crowd out here will be able to do easily. Together we will recreate a puzzle that is blank, that is white, El Blanco, and recreate the past on every single angle, because we won't be one artist. We'll be 50 of them all in the same room, all designing our own vision of the numbers and sequences and the movements and how come and why, and redoing and redoing and taking it apart and destroying what we have by putting it inside and starting again. We'll just have some people, and you know what, today, I'll just add it all into the computer and have the computer put it out for me in 18 minutes or less. It'll take 600 hours to put it in. Oh, 600, hold on a second. 1,000, 2,000, 8,000. Let me figure this out. 9 times 365 times 1440 equals 4,730,400 minutes ago. I began this project. Almost 5 million minutes ago. 1 divided by 60. Divided by 60. Let me see. Divided by 365. Wow. Wow. It's exactly we fall on the number of the Mayan. 216. It's always based on 9 freaking years. Put it together. Okay, count. Where are we going to start? Okay, we're going to start in the middle. Okay, let's start in the middle from me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. From one side to the other, 10. But we only live one life. We get 9. But we have one hand. Oh, I think I'll take one of my fingers off. How many fingers do you have? 5. Pass me one. I'll lend you one for now. Give me it back later, right? Oh, my God. Put a glove on my finger. Put a glove on my hand. How many gloves do you have now? I got a glove. I got a glove on my hand. I got no fingers left. Who's on first? What's on second? I don't know who's on third. I think tomorrow is pitching to today. But don't worry. Wise in left field. And don't be a smart aleck, because the shortstop is I don't give a damn. What do you mean you don't give a damn? You want to see a damn? Anyways, I have to stop because I can link. When I'm on the run, I can link anything. Thanks for a little help to my friend Mary Jane. 5 million. 5 million. Want to do this again. 1,440 minutes a day. Times 365 times 9 equals. Divided by 60. No. Divided by 24 equals. Wow. 3,285 days ago. 32 is the doorway. Okay, of BC, of the design I just showed you. 32 is the doorway to BC. 32, here's 2 of 3. 2 of these of 3, this is the incoming. And 85 is the Christ. 7 times 4 is 28. 7 plus 4 is 11, 39. Of the 39 they came in with. 3 times 3. Because whatever they did, right, they had to take us into consideration. They had to take they had to take us. We were 2. God was 1, because God is only the Holy Ghost inside of us. Goes right inside of us. We breathe. He lights up everything. He gives us everything we need right in the elements. What is God? Well, you want to really find God? You got to go down to a science center. He's all the elements, and then he's the water. Well, he's the water in all the elements. Because if you take all the elements away, ashes to ashes, dust to dust, must we again. Raphael 7286 in a constellation of Pegasus. In 1 hour, steaming, unprepared from work after doing a grocery order. I got more hemp in my closet than I do in my drawer. Oh my God, now I got another clue. The hemp in your drawers. Hemp is good for your sex organs. Wow, I didn't know that. The prostate, for sure. Wow. Thank you so much for telling me that. I got to look into that. Because everything at the minute, anybody can say anything to me, right? And I'm always going to put it somewhere. Does it really mean anything? No, it got classified. I'm going to look for the meaning. But when I can feel the meaning, I already know that what it does. I already know. I need to know. I need to know bacteria. But what I really want to know is the kelp. I want to know how the ocean grows. Once you do that, it's simple. The ocean grows. You grow your bones, grow the vessels, grow the veins, well-oiled. Let's go, baby. Let's go. We're coming into the new world. Raphael, who's hanging out on the cross with Christ, but he's on the telephone. Didn't you see? You see? Let me, before this video goes, we're going to have to just jot that down, right? Here the way it goes. I did all the 3 crosses, right? So we're going to come with that. They're all crossed up, right? So we're going to, you see this? This is the telephone. This is the hello, and this is the yes. Hello, yes. You see the 2 sides? Talking here. But if you really want to take a good look, follow my pen. What is the number of man? 52. If you take off 9, it's 43. If you add on 9, it's 63. It's 61. 61 is the reflection of Saturn. 43 is our original reflection. 2 and 1. Now we have 2 and 1. Now we have 4 and 1. 4 and 3. You know why? Because this 3 comes in like this. It's an automatic. The original is this. The original is this and this. They took it and they put it here. And what's the opposite of it? The 4. 3.1415, just because of these dice. The 9, the only reason the 9 comes in is because if it's 4 on 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 and 4 is 8, right? No. You have to have one of these to count. 7 up, thumbs up, the gateway. In order to count 1, you need 4. 1 to count for 4. And secondly, there's a chance we only needed 4 fingers and not all 5. Somehow. Somehow we have an extra finger of nothing. And you know what? I think it's this one. But I'd have to look at the duck and the chicken to really understand that. And if you really look at the chicken and they really like the chicken, they really like the chicken, eh? Let's go back to this one more time. They really like the chicken? Okay. This is an antenna. Okay, this is the Christ I just showed you. This is the antenna. This is the Christ, right? This is also the Mercedes sign. Where's the chicken? On top of every freaking church in the world. Find the chicken, find the rooster, find the cock. You know why find the cock? Because he gets up at 5 and 6 o'clock. Number 11. Every single day, cock-a-doodle-doo. Cock-a-doodle-doo. Do-diddle-little-do. Do-little-do. Do little, do little, do little. But not the cock in your pants. It's the one in the back of your throat. If you want him to do, he has to do little, so he's being stopped. Our doorway opens up, but the earth, the bipolar and the schizophrenic and all these is because our DC, AC, DC, one of them is blocking a doorway and it won't let it open. When you smoke the weed, it opens it up. Okay, I know this because, anyways, and because it's in our system. There's something either that we're eating or that's automatically there. That's what's it called? But everybody knows after a certain number of years, 40, 40, 40, 40. Why? 5 times 8. Why? Because 2, 4, 6, 8. What's the smallest you have? 8. You have to use 8 everywhere. If 2, 4, 6, 8 are all in the same family, they all have to share. They're all holding hands. It doesn't matter if you're first, second, third, or fourth. I don't care what level you're on. You all share. It's 88 and 88. 176, 352, 1776. 3 times 52 is 56, and we must see music and art from 56 AD. And if we have to learn, go up a little bit more, it would be in the 1200s and the 1500s. Because I think originally that Earth should have been a single D and not a double D. It should have been a single D that was rounded out in a sphere, just like I've heard many times. Instead, they created the circle. Okay, circles bounce. Spheres can roll over and turn around and stop their distance. A football, more or less. I think it's a football, more or less a football, but not a pool ball, because in pool they only play with 7 and 7. Like I showed you on the dice, we can only get 7 this way or 7 this way. In pool, it's the same thing. You can't get 8. So they separated the two worlds between the stripes and the solid. When you take a stripe and a solid, the stripe ball has 2 sides, okay, separated by the center. The center is larger than the 2 sides. That is your flat, your hockey puck, and that's where they can install this, somewhere in here. The 2 world. Raphael, 222. Why? Because you're putting 2 on 4, 6, and 8. 222, you put 6. How many worlds? 4, 6, and 8. If you put 2 on 4, 6, and 8, they made 666.